Chris Sutton has just issued a brutal warning to Wilfried Nancy, and it's not looking good. Ali McCoist has called out Celtic's real problem. A major backroom exit is being touted for Monday, and fans are planning something historic before the Aberdeen match. It's been another dramatic day in paradise. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Chris Sutton has warned that Wilfried Nancy's position as Celtic manager could become untenable as early as Sunday if the Hoops fail to beat Aberdeen at Celtic Park. It's been a disastrous start to the Frenchman's tenure. After 4 games in charge, Celtic have lost all 4, to Hearts, to Roma, to St Mirren, and most recently to Dundee United. Rumours about Nancy's future have swirled, but the manager is still set to take his place in the dugout this weekend. The stakes could hardly be higher. Aberdeen were in European action this week, going down 3-0 to Sparta Prague, which saw them finish second bottom of the Conference League. Celtic have had an extra day to stew on their worst run of results in decades. Sutton believes that if the pattern continues and Celtic lose again to the Dons, Nancy's time at the club will be effectively over. Writing in the record ahead of the game, he said, "I genuinely can't quite believe I'm saying it after just 4 matches in charge, but if Wilfried Nancy makes it 5 in a row against Aberdeen, his position will be untenable. That sounds slightly ridiculous, and it gives me no pleasure in saying it. People outside Scotland can't get their heads around it, but this is the reality in Glasgow. Celtic managers have to win games. Simple as that. It's been a disastrous start for the Frenchman, and the problem has already got to a stage where you have to wonder how long it can go on." Sutton's stark assessment isn't any different from most around the fans. The mood among large sections of supporters feels that results, not just performances, are essential if confidence in Nancy is to be restored, and that feels like it's almost impossible. Celtic need a win, not just for the league standings, but for belief, momentum, and to quell the growing unease around the manager's future. Sunday's clash with Aberdeen now feels like a crossroads in Nancy's first campaign, and the pressure is as intense as it gets at Parkhead. Now for the main story, as Ali McCoist might be as omnipresent as static cling on every football show you open, from Champions League nights to TalkSport panels to Premier League match days. His opinions on Celtic often raise an eyebrow or two, but this week on TalkSport, he hit the nail on the head with his analysis of where Celtic's season has gone off the rails. It's been nothing short of disastrous. 4 defeats on the spin now, defensive frailties, a growing disconnect between players and system, and mounting pressure on Wilfried Nancy have left supporters searching for answers. McCoist believes one of the core issues has been where Celtic have aimed their focus, not upwards toward excellence, but sideways, simply trying to be better than Rangers. He said, I think I've said before, I actually think Rangers have dragged Celtic down a bit, because though we've been that bad, and I think Celtic have been lazy and inept, because they've looked at us and went, we'll beat them anyway, right? And instead of looking there, they've looked at us and went, we just need to go there. We just need to go there. I might be wrong. It's just what I think. There's frustration in those words, but there's a stark truth too. When a club of Celtic's size and heritage starts to benchmark itself against one rival alone, it signals a loss of ambition rather than a laser focus on excellence. Fans know Celtic should be aiming higher, competing domestically with dominance and in Europe with intent, not merely trying to edge one fixture each season. And that brings us to Sunday. Celtic host Aberdeen at Celtic Park, a fixture that has taken on enormous significance after a run that has seen confidence drain away and support boil over into protest territory. A fan demonstration is planned before kick-off, with supporters demanding accountability at boardroom level and beyond. For all the talk of tactics, managerial philosophy and recruitment, the stark reality is this: Celtic haven't picked up a win in 4 straight matches. The players know it, the manager knows it, and supporters feel it in every chant that echoes around Parkhead. McCoist's words might come from a rival, but on this occasion he articulated the frustration many feel. Celtic's focus can't just be on one match or one rival. It has to be on upward ambition and consistent standards. In other news, Celtic look set for another off-field shake-up, with a member of the club's backroom staff due to leave over the weekend. The news is expected to break on Monday morning. Journalist Gordon Parks, speaking to PLZ Soccer, suggested the departure is likely to refocus attention on Paul Tisdale, who has come under increasing scrutiny for his role in recruitment and the overall footballing direction at Celtic. There have been persistent rumours about goalkeeping coach Stevie Woods, but Wilfried Nancy himself has previously shut those down, confirming Woods is still very much part of the staff. Parks said Paul Tisdale has to carry the can for a lot of this. His recruitment, his focus, and his impact on the thing has not clearly been good. You're going to get another departure in the backroom staff over the weekend, certainly on Monday, and it's going to shine a light on Paul Tisdale. Celtic's current run, 4 defeats in 4 under Nancy, and the club's worst run in decades, has intensified questions around how the squad was constructed and who ultimately holds responsibility. The club are heading into a busy January window at a time when confidence is low, results have been poor, and supporters are increasingly vocal about the need for change at board level. If a backroom departure does occur, attention will inevitably turn to how recruitment and football operations have been managed and what Tisdale's ongoing role should be. His role definitely shouldn't have him on holiday with the January window just around the corner. In other news, Celtic supporters have stepped up their protests, with another demonstration planned ahead of Sunday's Premiership fixture against Aberdeen at Celtic Park. The Celtic Fans Collective has welcomed the departure of Peter Lawwell as chairman, but insists this is only the beginning of what they see as necessary change at the club. The group that has organised the Not Another Penny campaign, late entrances against Kilmarnock under Brendan Rodgers, marches along the Celtic Way from St Mary's in the Calton, and prominent banner displays inside the stadium, says the time has come to broaden their demands. In a statement released, the collective said, "The Celtic Fans Collective welcomes the departure of Peter Lawwell from Celtic Football Club. During his tenure, the club failed to progress in line with its resources, potential, and the clearly expressed expectations and ambitions of the support. Change at board level continues to be both inevitable and necessary. The Celtic board is responsible for the team's decline and for the growing disconnect between the club's leadership and its supporters. The longer they remain in place, the more damage they will do to the club we all love. We call on all supporters to join us for a historic demonstration at 2 p.m. on Sunday, the 21st of December, ahead of the match against Aberdeen, to demand the resignations of Michael Nicholson, Chris McCoy, and Brian Wilson. We also call on all fans to continue to hit the board in the pocket by supporting the Not Another Penny campaign on Sunday and in the run-up to Christmas. Celtic supporters have a long and storied history of organising collectively, often against overwhelming odds, to achieve great victories." Lastly, former Celtic manager Brendan Rodgers messaged St Mirren boss Stephen Robinson to congratulate him on his side's shock Premier Sports Cup final victory over Celtic. Rodgers resigned from his role at Celtic in October, handing in his notice to principal shareholder Dermot Desmond in a late-night exit that sent shockwaves through Parkhead. The club's official response was unusually sharp, with Desmond accusing Rodgers of actions that contributed to a toxic atmosphere and undermined confidence in the board and leadership. Following Rodgers' departure, Martin O'Neill was appointed interim manager and guided the Hoops through a tense League Cup semi-final victory against Rangers. However, O'Neill didn't get the final as Wilfried Nancy was confirmed as the new permanent manager. Nancy's tenure got off to a rocky start, and then Celtic were beaten 3-1 by St Mirren at Hampden Park, a result that compounded an already difficult introduction to Scottish football. It was a day that saw intense scrutiny of the managerial change and deep frustration from sections of the support. That's all for today's Celtic news. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.